Hey there, my name is Bob Carlson, and in 1995 I started Arbor. Arbor is the first brand in traditional action sports to be founded specifically to be mindful of the planet in the production of our products, and to donate a portion of every sale to the conservation of the environment. Through the years, the vision for the brand has stayed simple: utilize sustainable materials and manufacturing to produce innovative, high-quality snowboarding and skateboarding gear. Throughout Arbor's history, we've worked hard to advance the importance of sustainability in action sports. Along the way, Arbor has had some notable firsts. As I mentioned, we were the first action sports brand to promote the importance of sustainable materials and create an environmental give-back program. We were also the first company to offer sustainably sourced wood-top snowboards and skateboards. We were the first snowboard brand to find a way to reduce our reliance on plastics. We were the first brand to promote the use and importance of sustainably sourced wood cores and wood plies. We were the first snowboard brand to introduce highly renewable bamboo as a top sheet and core material. We were the first snowboard brand to promote the importance and use of non-forest farm-grown wood cores. We were the first snowboard brand to promote the importance and use of bioplastic snowboard top sheets. And we were the first action sports brand to push for the upcycling of the byproducts of production at our factories. So again, we were founded to build the most mindfully crafted snowboards possible. We start by using environmentally friendly forest products. We end by donating a portion of every sale to the restoration and preservation of endangered forests. To that end, here is what we refer to as our forest-to-forest commitments. Only use naturally, highly renewable, sustainably sourced wood from well-managed forests or other non-forest sources. Ensure that all forest products are sustainable and compliant with the U.S. Lacey Act and/or certified by reliable organizations such as FSC. Process all forest products using methods that stretch each resource, maximizing our materials and minimizing our impact on forests. Produce in factories that use solar power, enclosed systems that capture, filter, and reuse all water while fully upcycling the wood byproduct from production. Convert our natural fiber tops into structural layers that improve pop and durability, reducing our reliance on non-biodegradable composites. Maximize our use of plant-based resins, which are more sustainable to produce and deliver a significantly smaller carbon footprint. Always use sustainable components, including bio-based foils, recycled steel edges and sidewalls, low waste-based, environmentally friendly wax. And support the restoration of Hawaii's koa forests, giving back through our Returning Roots program to both the planet and the people in place at the roots of surfing snow, sidewalk, and swell. At Arbor, we will continue to leave it better than we found it. So I want to tell you a little bit more about our Returning Roots Give Back. Arbor focuses on the protection and restoration of the koa forests in Hawaii. Again, we see this as the best way to give back to the planet and the people in place that gave us surfing. The native Hawaiians invented surfing as much as 1,000 years ago on surfboards made from koa. If you surf mountain, sidewalk, or swell, the native Hawaiians should get a big nod of gratitude. Returning Roots has now helped plant over 350,000 native trees. But it's important to note that the program is not just about planting trees. The goal is to rebuild whole koa forests. We work to bring back the biodiversity of the original environment and then protect it for generations to come. By focusing on tropical hardwoods, Returning Roots is also maximizing the related carbon offset of Arbor's 25-year-long tree planting efforts. Thank you for being part of the Returning Roots program and for working to ensure that your customers know about what we're doing in Hawaii and know that through the purchase of any Arbor product, they are helping us restore this cultural and environmental resource for the Hawaiian people and the rest of the planet. So at Arbor, we call our wooden bamboo top sheets power plies. This is because they not only create the beautiful one-of-a-kind look of our snowboards, but they significantly improve performance and durability. A lot goes into that power ply. Obviously, the logs are first harvested from a range of sustainable sources. Then we take those logs and we soak them so they can be sliced rather than sawn. Soaking the log softens it so that we can run a blade through it and kind of slice it like cheese, rather than running a thick saw blade through it, which ends up creating sawdust. That sawdust is a byproduct that reduces the amount of wood that you can use in your finished top sheet. By slicing the wood, we use almost 100% of the log rather than probably a fraction of that, about 10% if you were to saw the log, sand it down to the thickness that you're getting by slicing it into veneer. Obviously, this starts to dramatically stretch this valuable resource. Once the logs are sliced into veneer, then we assemble the top sheets. We book match the top sheets. Sometimes we use 2 sheets, sometimes you'll see 4. This allows us to use, as the log curves and we slice through it, that thinner top of the log creates thinner sheets. We can use those thinner sheets in a book matching process to further stretch the resource. Again, this valuable resource of the sustainably sourced wood that we're using in these top sheets. Then the power plies are backed with a permeable cloth that we call fleece. That cloth material increases the strength and the bond of the top sheet to the board by allowing the glue to push through the backer into the wood fibers and creating an incredible bond with that top that will not result in delamination. The power ply is then sanded and then it's pre-laminated to a protective bioplastic foil, or it's waterproofed in our rise above plastic top sheets. That first pre-laminating, that first laminating process is basically the first of a double laminating process that we use to create our boards. After the tops are pre-laminated, then we laminate them onto the finished snowboard. In the end, what we're creating is the most sustainable, most durable, most performance-oriented, most labor-intensive snowboard available. But it's worth it to ensure that you get something that lasts for years, that rides incredibly well for years, and that respects the material that we use to create our power ply top sheets. Power ply from Arbor. Okay guys, I want to introduce Eddie Wall, Arbor's product manager. We are going to touch on the Arbor system, which is the shaping philosophy that underpins the design of every snowboard in our line.
Hey guys, nice to meet you. The system design allows us to create advanced true rocker and true camber designs. As a result, we can preserve all of the inherent riding benefits of these proven platforms by avoiding hybridization. 2 distinct technologies make this possible: grip tech and parabolic profile.
Grip tech creates added heel and toe contact points that dramatically improve edge control on snow and ice. The design creates a more ergonomic and direct connection with the snow for substantially improved handling and response time.
The added contact points make it possible for Arbor to offer rocker designs that hold an amazing edge and camber designs that provide cleaner edge performance.
We use a unique shaping technique that replaces the single radius arc found in traditional camber and rocker with a more advanced parabolic profile. The design blends 5 separate radii together to create a parabolic arc, which gradually reduces the amount of rocker or camber toward the tip and tail.
In our system rocker shapes, the design lowers the leading edge to improve edge hold. In our system camber shapes, the design makes the leading edge less aggressive for a smoother performance.
The blended 5 radius design also dramatically improves our ability to tune each shape in our line for ability level, target terrain, and riding style.
So which system design is right for you?
Our system rocker shapes are for riders who want a surfy ride with natural float, cleaner tracking across the snow, more carefree turns and spins, and best-in-class true rocker edge hold in the steeps at higher speeds and through any landing.
Our system camber shapes are for riders who want a highly responsive ride, crisp on-edge performance, more pop for carving and ollies, and effortless true camber performance across all types of snow and through your turns, spins, and landings. So when paired with an Arbor snowboard, the System X design improves the activation of Arbor's grip tech contact points. The unique binding and board interaction provides maximum performance at speed, in the steeps, and through any turn, carve, or spin.
So that's it. That's the system from Arbor. All you need to know is two stories, system camber and system rocker. And you can sell any board in our line and talk about how our bindings, which work for any brand out there, these are standalone bindings that work on anybody's board. You can also talk about how the System X works with both the camber system boards and the rocker system boards from Arbor. It makes it very easy to sell the line and our technologies. I want to mention that on November 15th, we will be crossing the 25-year mark at Arbor. We plan to celebrate this anniversary throughout the season. To mark the event, we are releasing this 25-year anniversary edition element made with Hawaiian koa. For me, this offering hits close to home. We launched the brand in '95 with a small collection of snowboards made with sustainable Hawaiian koa top sheets. Over the next 15 years, koa became our calling card, anchoring the brand's look and feel and our message about sustainability, craftsmanship, and performance. The koa we used was always sourced by my partner and I, because we believe then, and we still do today, that the best way to ensure that something is sustainable is to go to the source. Our first koa came from a reforestation project on the island of Maui, where dead trees were removed by helicopter and sold to fund the reforestation effort. That project is finished, and the restored land was added to the Haleakala National Park, which is amazing because there it will be forever protected. In 2000, we stopped using koa. Sustainable sources were just too hard to find. But to celebrate our 25th anniversary, we felt we needed to bring it back. So we went out and found the last 2 logs sourced by Chris Jensen, my original partner and co-founder, to create this limited edition offering. The element is our cornerstone mountain twin. For 25 years, it's been the board that we've built the line around. We're super proud to be offering it once again with Hawaiian koa. Okay, so we want to talk a little bit about our fender tech. In our system camber boards, the system works so well that we can take it one step farther and fender the nose and tail. We've been doing this now for about 4 or 5 years. And what it does is it really improves a camber board's performance when you re-engage the edge with a leaf spring-like design. And it softens the performance and improves it and smooths it out. It's sort of analogous to what people are doing with early rise, often referred to as early rise. But with early rise, what you're doing is you're lifting the front of the board off the snow. You're rockering the whole front of the board to get that same performance for a camber board, and make it approach the snow in a smoother way. The problem is when you rocker the nose and tail, you're shortening the camber, you're shortening the leaf spring, which is your power and your pop. What we're doing preserves the full leaf spring, the length of the leaf spring, and all of the power and pop that goes with a complete camber board, a true camber board. Rather, we just fender the contact points, which allows for the board to camber all the way to the transition zone, but still get some of that smooth performance that you want in our camber designs. We started with one style of fender, but we've now moved to 3 different styles to address and tune the boards to different types of riding and target terrains. So I'll let Eddie run through those for you.
Yeah, so we start off with the uprise fenders, which are anywhere from 3 degrees to 5 degrees, which are a little bit more drastic. And this is for all mountain performance. It's very versatile.
You'll find this on most of our system camber boards. It's the most widely used. It's the most versatile design from our fender tech.
Moving down a little bit is the 50-50 fenders, and this is only 1.5 degrees. This is more for park performance, street performance, and it's essentially a built-in detune.
We lower the fenders by halfway, making the boards have a little bit more crisp on-edge performance in the park and for riding street and just general freestyle riding.
Last but not least, we have the POW fenders, which are 3 degrees. They're elongated, running all the way up into the nose, and this is for deep powder.
It basically creates more of a spoon-like feeling, so you get great powder performance, but still great camber performance on the hard pack between your stashes.
And then lastly, one of the benefits of Fender Tech is the fact that we can start playing with different levels of offset fenders. So having 3 degrees in the front, 1.5 in the back, which help rise that nose in the powder and sink the tail.
Again, the goal for us is to tune the board with the fenders for that riding style, skill level, or target terrain. And by having asymmetrical fenders, lower fenders in the back, bigger fenders in the nose, no fenders in the back, we are able to do things that make this camber system board better for those different needs out there in the market. So that's the fender tech from Arbor. So we're gonna jump into our nose profiles real quick. There's a bit more method to our madness when it comes to our shapes. And as you know, what our goal at Arbor is really to design to target terrain, riding style, and performance level. And we address that with shape. Often you'll find with Arbor, there's a family of boards that have a similar shape, and you can really see that with the profile of the nose. And those nose profiles, in our case, 7 different profiles, really are designed to address a specific target terrain or riding style. So we're going to briefly go through those so that you understand with a quick look what an Arbor board is designed to provide.
We'll start off with the panhead, which is just the classic top to bottom freestyle performance.
Classic shape, what you would expect from a pure freestyle board.
Going into our next shape, we have the bonehead, which is a skate influence shape for street inspired riding.
A little wider, so a little bit more nose performance, a little bit more surface area for tricks where you're riding actually on your nose.
Then we're moving into the flathead, which provides more surface area for butters, ollies, and nollies.
The maximum amount of surface area for freestyle riding and tricks.
Moving from the flathead, you have the spoonhead, which is the all-mountain function in a range of snow conditions.
More classic, all-mountain shape, a little bit more extended for that first step into deeper snow.
Then moving from there, we have the knucklehead, which is peak to parking lot with extra punch in the powder.
A little bit more surface area with those dog ears, give you a little bit more float and powder than you've seen in any of the other shapes.
Then we have the thunderhead, which is big mountain versatility and speed in deepest snow.
Really from our classic round nose shapes, this has got the most amount of surface area, the best powder performance, channels, recurved channels for moving the snow around the nose, and that great powder lip out in front to really create float for a top of the mountain performance out of this shape.
And last but not least, we have the arrowhead, which offers exceptional float even on the deepest days.
The longest nose, best powder performance for the deepest days. So those are our nose profiles and a great way to understand the family of shapes that we offer at Arbor. So over the last couple of years, we've been sort of rebuilding the way we lay out our whole line and merchandise our whole line into what we call our board map. It's really a terrain map that we use to highlight where the boards fit from a bottom of the mountain to the top of the mountain and beyond structure. It uses language that your customers, snowboarders, are very familiar with, ideas of terrain, so street and park, resort, and backcountry. And then it goes and breaks our lineup into 5 specific shape buckets. And those shapes are, again, designed for specific terrain range goals, skill levels, and riding styles. So in each group, true twins, resort mountain twins, big mountain twins, directionals, and directional guns, you can find the rocker and camber offering, the unisex, and the women's specific offering, and you can find a good, better, best pricing structure, which really addresses adding better bases, better cores, better top sheets. And that is how you will be able to find the right board for your customers' preferred price that they want to spend. So this is a really good tool for you to understand the whole Arbor line. It allows you to ask your customer where they want to ride, how good they are, and how much they want to spend, and zero in on the board that's right for them. Again, it's broken up into rocker and camber, unisex, and women's specific, and then by price in each of the buckets. So instead of having a low to high price, you've got low to high price in each of these zones, giving you a really good understanding of how we lay out the line and what board is right for a particular customer. That's the board map from Arbor. You can find it in our catalog and you can find it on our website.
Earlier, Bob took us through the Arbor board map to explain our line, which, as you can see, is divided up into these 5 categories. Now, the categories are split up into the terrain and the shape and profile of each board. So we're going to start here with the True Twins, and these boards are, obviously, you can ride them all around the mountain, but they're going to be very good for the park and the street. In each category, the boards are going to be designed to go from most affordable into the premium boards. So starting in the street park True Twin section, which is the Eric Leone Relapse, and this is a camber board, followed by another camber board, which is the Draft. And then going up, we have the Westmark Camber, but we also offer the Westmark in rocker. And the sister to the Westmark is going to be the Cadence, which we also have in rocker and camber, which is women's specific. And then finally, our most premium board in this category is the Frank April Westmark. From there, we move into the Resort Mountain Twins. So these are made to go all around the resort, a little bit into the park, a little bit at the top of the mountain, but overall, it's just a good all-around board. These are also twins. And starting off in the bottom, you have the Helix, which is a kid-specific board. And then you go up into the Foundation, which is the most affordable board in this class. And the Foundation is offered in rocker only. The sister to the Foundation is the Ethos, which is also rocker for women's. You have the Formula Rocker, and then its sister, the Paparazzi Rocker. You also have Formula Camber and the Paparazzi Camber. And then our most premium board in the Resort Mountain Twins division is going to be the Element, which we have in rocker and camber. Next, we have the Big Mountain Twins. So this is going to be the board if you're an aggressive rider, you like riding the top of large mountains, you're going to be dropping cliffs, chutes, things like that. Maybe you're riding Mammoth or Baker or some of these larger resorts, a little bit of side country, probably take them into the back country as well. Our most affordable board in this line is the Shiloh Rocker and the Shiloh Camber. Moving up from there, you have the Coda Rocker and Coda Camber, which also we offer the sister for women's specific, and that is the Swoon Rocker and Swoon Camber. Stepping up from that, we have the Wasteland Rocker and the Wasteland Camber. And finally, we have a Coda Split Rocker, a Coda Split Camber, and then the Swoon Split. Next category is directionals. These are the boards that are going to be great for riding powder, good for all over the resort, but specifically for some of the bigger areas of the resort, side country, back country, places like that. These are going to be directional, a lot of because the taper, some of the inserts are going to be set back a bit, and they're going to have larger noses just for that extra float. Starting with the most affordable in the directional category, we have the Crosscut Rocker and Crosscut Camber. We also have the Cask, which is a very powder-specific board. Going up from there, we have the Brian Aguchi Pro Camber. And the sister to that is the MFR Veda. And then moving up from there, we have the A-Frame. We have the Brian Aguchi Pro Split and the Annex. Last but not least, we have the directional guns. These are going to be the boards that are great for deep powder days. You can, of course, ride them all over the resort, but you're probably going to want to bring them up on a deep day, as well as riding really well in the backcountry and the side country. You're going to start off with your most affordable one here, which is going to be the Terrapin, which you'll notice by the shape has a dramatic taper and is going to be great for very deep snow. And then moving up from there, we have the Cosa Nostra Rocker, the Clovis Camber, which is Mark Carter's specific pro model, and then the Clovis Women's. So that's a brief summary of how we designed our board map here at Arbor. And the main reason that we did this was to make it very simple to distinguish what board a customer is going to want. So if somebody comes into the shop and the first thing you're going to want to ask them is, what type of terrain does that customer want to ride? Are they only in the park? Do they love riding around the entire resort? Are they going up higher in the mountain, or are they backcountry, side country, powder fanatic? The next thing you're going to want to find out is what type of feel do they want. If there's somebody who wants high performance, highly responsive, kind of more aggressive riding, then they're going to go for a camber board. If you want a more surfy, flowy ride, they like buttering, then you're going to want to go for a rocker board. Once you distinguish those two things, you just go into their budget. Are they going to want a more affordable board? Do they want a medium price or straight up into the premium boards? Once you figure out what board is perfect for that customer, then you can just lace them up with a nice pair of Arbor bindings and they're good to go.
Full name? Hey, I'm Eric Christopher Beitzig.
Looks like you might be fixing your alternator.
Definitely. On the side. I do carburetors, alternators on the side. Okay. Hey, I'm Eric Beitzig. I'm the creative director for Arbor Snowboards, which is part of the larger Arbor Collective family. Okay, for this year's relapse, we worked with one of Eric Leon's friends who goes by the artist name Maserati, who's an awesome Norwegian artist who is huge in the streetwear scene and recently got to work with other prolific artists like Post Malone. Okay, for this year's Shiloh and cast, we're excited to be able to continue the collaboration with Aaron Draplin. For those of you who don't know, Aaron Draplin is a longtime industry vet, used to be the art director for Snowboard magazine. He's highly regarded and respected in the design community and has been a huge inspiration to me. For this year's cadence, we were lucky enough to work with the artist Zoe Keller. Zoe's a Portland-based artist, and she has a massive body of work of highly detailed natural elements that we think really work well on our natural wood canvas.
Hey, we're back with Mark Carter's Clovis. It's his pro model. We got it on the unisex version on black walnut and the women's specific on maple this year. Beautiful style. Mark Carter, he's a rancher in the summertime and a prolific boarder in the winter. So we got some nods to his culture and his upbringing with some petroglyph style art. Beautiful art on top of the wood canvas. And of course, his arrowhead style nose and tail shape. He's collecting those things in the summertime, and you'll see him all over the place. And in Jackson, if you do see him, I bet he has one in his pocket for you. A couple nods to Ten Sleep, where he grew up, and where he does the majority of his ranching with his brothers. This is an exciting board this year, man. Last year we were working with him with the month of Mark, and this year we plan to do the same. But you should be seeing a lot of this board and a lot of him on top of it. And we're back. This is the Marie Francois Beta. Brand new to this year. Super exciting addition to our line. It's a woman freestyle, free ride specific board. This is a board that Marie Francois has been asking for quite some time now. It speaks to her riding style, and the aesthetic of the board is actually built by her friend Annie, and it's a beautiful quilt inspired pattern on the top sheet. And we got a couple of little Easter eggs hidden in this board. We'll let you check them out for yourself once you get your hands on it. Some inspirational quotes and just good energy flowing through this board top to bottom. We're super excited to see Marie on this board this year. She's filming for the Fabric Project with Robin Van Gyn, and she's crushing it out there. So keep your eyes out for Marie. Check her out riding the Beta.
So that's the 2021 snowboard offering from Arbor. Thank you for taking the time to learn about everything we do, what the brand stands for, what underpins our technology and our shaping, and some of the unique products that we're offering for this year. Thank you for all the work you're doing to tell the Arbor story and making sure people understand what stands behind the brand and what we're working so hard to accomplish here at Arbor. We can't do it without you. If you find yourself in Venice, California, come by and have a beer. We'll show you what we're doing for next year. Our doors are open. Otherwise, we'll see you up on the mountain. Have a great season. Cheers.